Hey everybody, this is Crumpet here, and welcome to my tutorial for a highly efficient mob farm, which is pretty easy to build as well. Just to get started, the timestamp of this is, the bulk of it, this bottom part, is, I believe it's 33 by 15, and it is 42 blocks tall. Obviously you do have these little parts sticking out here and our timers here and everything, so it's slightly larger, but the efficiency of this farm I think is pretty well worth it, and especially for how simple it is to actually acquire these materials, it's really not that bad. Anyway, oh my god, it's just so amazing. This is the full-size farm right here. The reason why I built this is in my single-player survival world. I wanted to build a universal mob farm, and one of the best designs that I've really found out there that works currently, that's not currently broken, is, hey jockey, get him. The best one that I've seen right now is the design by Smoking Koala, and his design's good and all, but there's two things about that farm which, don't suit my needs, and the first of which is that it requires packed ice to build, or at least to have maximum efficiency on the build, and that's one thing that, like, I don't have packed ice in my world. I've only been on my world for maybe a week, and I haven't even got that much playtime on it, but so I definitely haven't found packed ice or enchanted tools even. And with this, you don't really need to get packed ice. You don't really need to get much, just a bit of caving. I think the most expensive thing on this is probably iron for the pistons, and even that's not terrible. I mean, to get, let's see, let me read how much iron that is. Just over 3 stacks of iron. I mean, that's really not too bad. So yeah, so this is a pretty resource light build as well, and very, very efficient. And the second reason why I don't like his design is I don't like water designs. And the reason for that is because when water is pushing mobs off the platforms, despite it being packed ice, it's whenever the water is out, it is completely blocking spawns. So for the duration of the water leaving the platform, pushing the mobs off and sucking back in, you're gonna have no spawns at all. And I know even because of that, he did a great job of still making the efficiency awesome. He got some good timing and everything. To get 1,300 items per hour is pretty impressive with a water design, in my opinion. So, good job. But I like water designs, so we came up with this. Anyways, let's swap to a new world. Before we swap, I just wanted to take a look. This is a 20-minute time trial. This is how I found the items per hour. That was the exact items per hour right there, 15,990. But you can take a look at that. We got one full double chest right here. That's 54 stacks of items. And then another 26 for a total of 80 stacks of items plus these. So you can go ahead and pause and do the math on that. It comes out to be 15,990 if I did it correctly. May have missed a number here or there, but it's pretty much 1,600. I rounded up by 10. It's not that big of a deal. So anyways, let's head over to a new world, and we'll get a quick peek on how this works, and then I'll show you how to build the farm. Before we start building the farm, I just want to kind of show you on the principle, or kind of the theory behind this farm and why it's actually so efficient, especially for just being, I didn't mention this yet, this is entirely a timer-based shifting forest design. So, let me just put this creeper down. The hell just happened? My creeper egg is gone. Alright, so let's try this again. Wait till the forest stops shifting. Alright, so, peaceful. There we go. One more try. As you see, even from the top floor, the creeper made it all the way down to the bottom. And that's kind of the main design behind this, is that how I have the floors shifting, mobs can fall through 3 floors all at once, so you can make it from the top floor all the way down to the bottom. If you add any more floors after that, it's not going to work, so we're sticking to a 3-floor design, and kind of just maximizing the space. The amount of blocks a piston can push is 12, so you have 13 plus an air block, and from this repeater right here, I can take this out by 15 blocks. Hence why we have the 13 by 15 size of the farm for each node, and there's 2 nodes to maximize the spawning area. So our total spawning area would be 30 by 12. I believe that's correct. Yeah, 30 by 12. So we have a very large spawning area with all the mobs falling to the ground as soon as the floors stop shifting from every single... unless they spawn like that randomly between a shift. But yeah, within one shift, every single mob can get to the bottom and fall to their death, and that's kind of what helps with the efficiency of this. They're immediately going from being spawned to dying and allowing more mobs to populate the mob capacity. So that's kind of the idea behind this farm. Now let's get to building. Alright guys, we're here in a new world, and I've come up with a bit of a material list, and actually I calculated the raw materials for everything you're going to need for this. This is for the full-size farm. If you want to do the half-size farm, then you can just take this material list and divide it by 2, and that's what you will need for the redstone of this. I did not calculate anything having to do with the actual building blocks for the structure or the looting system. The looting system's up to you. That's actually going to be the most expensive part of this farm versus anything that I'm going to show you. You can do it however you want. I'm not going to dictate that. The most material efficient way I would say to do is hopper minecarts, but keep in mind this thing spits out a stupid amount of loot. So you can't just have one hopper minecart going around picking it all up. You're going to need one per every single line. You're going to need a lot of them. So anyways, this is the regular material list. What we're going to need is 306 redstone, and I did actually count that out wrong. That's 4 stacks plus 50, not 3 stacks. We're going to need 8 redstone blocks, 16 redstone torches, 16 redstone repeaters, 8 redstone comparators, 180 pistons, 10 sticky pistons, 2 droppers, and 6 hoppers. And like I said, again, for the half-size farm, you only need half of those materials. And same thing over here on the raw materials. What we will be needing for the raw materials is 642 redstone dust, which is 10 stacks plus 2 dust, 164 logs, which is 2 stacks plus 36, 774 cobblestone, which is 12 stacks plus 6, 72 smooth stone, 10 slime balls, 220 iron, and 8 nether quartz. So really not too expensive of a build, not including building blocks and the loot system, which you're on your own for. You can just place down a floor of hoppers like I'm about to do if you're lazy and have the materials. Otherwise, have fun figuring this one out on your own. Anyway, so one of the next things we need to do is pick out an awesome color palette for our farm, and I'm going to use the new prismarine blocks plus quartz. And the color palette of your farm is very important for the efficiency, because the mobs will like the pretty colors and they'll be attracted to it. I'm totally kidding, by the way. It doesn't really matter. You can use dirt if you want, but I wouldn't actually use dirt, just because Enderman can pick it up and move it. But you get the point. So we're gonna need some slabs. Let's go with white glass, just because I think it'll look nice. Or actually, I already know it'll look nice. I've already built this using this before. Ooh, banner. Awesome. I'll play with those later. What was I looking for? Chests. Trap chests. Regular chest. Wonderful. Alright, so first thing we're going to want to do is we're just going to want to start by building a little bit of a base. So this is going to be my 15 long side, so there's going to be a wall there. Keep in mind there's walls, so it's going to actually be 17. And I'm only going to show you building the half node because, or I mean one of the two nodes for the farm, so I'm going to build the half farm for you guys. The other half of the farm is literally the exact same, so don't worry, you can just go back and rewind and watch the video if you're trying to build the second half. So anyways, you're going to want to find a corner, find a place to start at, and this isn't included. Count out 15 blocks, so from that corner, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15, and you're going to need a wall block there too. So just put that up there to signify that these are the corners. And now we're going to need to build 13 blocks from the corner, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. And again, build another corner and just kind of fill those in. Whoops. Actually, I don't want that one. This part right here will depend on your looting system. That's why I'm not putting that line right there. So alright, we got our 4 corners. I'm going to go ahead and just kind of put these chests down and everything. And keep note that how I'm putting these chests down is because there's just so much loot. You can't send all the hoppers into one main area. It's not going to work. You're going to get clogs and backups, and you're going to lose items. So like I'm doing, I'm putting one line of hoppers going into a chest. So every single line has, well, everything is its own line, and they all filter into the chest pretty quickly. So that's the purpose behind that, and that's because I know for a fact that if you don't have a proper looting system, you will have item despawn. This thing has crazy item per hour output, so you're going to want to have a good looting system. So let me go ahead and finish this up real fast. I'm going to kind of finish this up off camera, and I'll come back once I get these hoppers in place. Alright guys, I got our hoppers in place. I just wanted to come back real fast for 1 second. We're going to go ahead and slab all these hoppers too, so this isn't necessary by any means, but you can get mobs to spawn down here. In my perfectly efficient world that I was freezing my game with, there we go. In the first world, the full-size farm, I forgot on the second node of the farm to light up the hoppers, and when I would walk a little bit too far away from it, I would get tons of spawns down in the hopper area. And guess what creepers do to iron golems now? Because I'll tell you one thing, they exploded the hell out of my farm, and I was just like baffled for 15 minutes that the creepers kept on making it through a 30 block fall and exploding and blowing up my farm. I thought I got my plan foiled. But it ended up just being that other mobs, including spiders, skeletons, and stuff like that, will actually aggro iron golems now, and I did not know that. That must have been something new since when I was gone from the game, or one of the snapshots that I didn't read the update notes for, something. So yeah, so make sure you either slab up or light up these hoppers, these floors of hoppers. When you slab it up, you don't have to worry. You don't have to. This trap is based off of fall damage. You don't have to worry about going up one extra block. You'll still get the one-hit kills off of everything, including witches. So, yep, just I kind of talked through slabbing that entire thing. So, whoops, a little boring. So sorry about that. Let's just finish slabbing up here, and then we can continue. I guess one thing I will say while we finish up the slabbing is to know, I was talking about the optimization for endermans. I guess since the next part is building upwards, what you're going to want to do is, there's ways to optimize to and against, or like for and so you can avoid endermen as well. And one of the optimizations for endermen is to build this up to the height that endermen will fall and die in one hit, which is like 40, I don't know exactly off the top of my head, 45 maybe, 45 block fall. I can't remember currently, but if you're going to want to optimize this for Enderman, you're going to want to make this taller, just so they die to the fall, because currently they will not with how I have it. If you don't care about the optimization, just build it pretty much exactly how I do. And if you want to get rid of Enderman, well, you're going to be spending a lot more resources doing it, but I will also show you that as well when we get to that point. So the next thing we're going to want to do is on these corners, we're on, technically, these hoppers are on block 2 right now. So we're going to want to go 30 blocks above that, so we're going to want to go up to Y32, for me it's Y32, wherever 30 blocks above your hoppers are. So let's see, that's 33. Alright, so 32. Alright, and one more. There we go. Okay, so now, before we get started, this is the Y level that our first row of pistons is going to be on, and our floor level for our first floor. But before we get started on that, in order to block all the light from coming through, even if we have walls and a ceiling, the light can still make it in a little bit from the bottom. So what we're going to want to do, if this is our first line of pistons, is the 13 long? Yes. This will be our first line right here, so our pistons will be on these green lines right here. We're going to want to mark out going down 9 more blocks from where that line of pistons is, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And then you're going to want to fill that in throughout the rest of this, and that'll block all the light from getting through, so these need to be solid blocks. I would go ahead also for everything underneath here, this open area under where you need the solid blocks, I would go ahead and fill that in as well. I'm going to use white glass. I'm about to cut out here in a second and get this kind of area filled out. So we don't have to watch me do it all on camera, which should be extremely fun. But yeah, so you can go ahead. I would recommend filling it in. You don't have to. The mob should make it down, but sometimes they'll hit the edge of the glass that I have poking out right here or something, and the loot won't get in, just other various reasons. So it's better to fill it in, although not necessary. So if you want to go ahead and build the farm, and you might lose a couple drops in the process, not a big deal to you, go ahead, then you don't need to fill in this section. Or you can do designs with it that aren't the most efficient, like build a nice little archway or something, who knows. I might do, actually that's a great idea, I might do something with that in my LP world. So anyways, I'm going to go ahead, kind of with this design right here that I have going on, I'm going to go ahead and fill in everything with solid and glass blocks that I haven't filled in already up to this point, following this design for all these walls, except for on, these are where where I'm placing this white glass on the 15 long side is where you're going to want your pistons. So on that very top row on the 15 long sides, do not place any blocks there, because you're just going to have to break them again. So let me go ahead and finish filling all this in, and I'll be back in just a second. Alright guys, when all is said and done, you should have a little something that looks like this. And this is, again, this is the Y32 thing, the 30 blocks above the floor of hoppers, and the spot on the 15 wide area long is where we need to put our pistons. So let's get out some pistons. I guess I don't need that anymore. Put that away from, let's keep that out. And keep that out. Yeah, alright, let's grab our pistons. So what we're going to want to do is put a line of pistons going across every single one of these white blocks that I left space open for. And then go ahead and put a line of pistons on this side. Sorry about that, I had to stop recording for a second. Got into a real life conversation. And now from here, what you can do is, since you're probably going to be building this in survival, I would go ahead and put a line of blocks on the back of all the pistons right now. You can do that afterwards if you so please. When you're doing the rest of the redstone, if you want to just scaffold up and do it. I mean, you're going to need to scaffold up to do the redstone anyway, so this can be done before or after. But these need to be on the backs of the piston, and that's because the pistons are non-solid blocks technically. They will let light through, so we need to cover those up, and that's also where we're going to be running our redstone. So now what we're going to need to do is, that's just a placeholder for the next line. What we're going to want to do is, from one side of the other, we're going to want to put a line of half slabs, top half slabs. And this is one of the other optimizations against Enderman. If you want to not have Enderman spawning, you're going to want to use redstone blocks instead of half slabs. So I honestly think you should just use the half slabs and not really care. You can do the 40-something blocks pretty easily. It's just extra solid blocks. Or you can do what I did in my original design before I realized that Endermen were even spawning in here, which I didn't think they would, because the highest distance that they have is 2.5 blocks, and I was under the assumption that they needed 3 full blocks to of height to spawn, but apparently they only need 2.5. So you can have Endermen spawning in here, even though the floors are only going to be 2.5 blocks between. So if you want, like I said, if you want to use redstone blocks, that will prevent this. The mobs, as far as I can remember, can also fall through redstone blocks, like on JL's witch farm. On his his shifting floor design uses redstone blocks. So I mean, I'm pretty sure that still works. I'm not 100% sure, but pretty sure. So yeah. Anyway, so yeah. So 12 blocks long on the slabs, or redstone blocks if you're optimizing against Enderman. Keep that in mind, that redstone blocks is against it for no more Enderman spawns. But we're not going to worry about that, because even with our we're only doing this 30 blocks high, which won't kill an Enderman on the fall. But we are going to stick iron golems in the bottom later, and those will finish off pretty much any mob that doesn't die on their fall. With the mobs actually attacking them now, they might die after a little bit, which I'm a little bit concerned about. I did quite a few test runs with them staying alive, and I'm not sure if they heal or they just have that much health to where they're not dying. But I don't know, one of the two. You're either gonna have to set up a healing station, or I don't know, something. But you need the iron golems in there to take care of chicken jockeys, and sometimes spiders will catch a wall or something like that and not die immediately. So you're gonna want a couple of iron golems, and the reason why you want at least 2 is because now with the hostile mobs attacking them, one of them can actually, like, if you get a skeleton or something that manages to get feather falling, a skeleton actually can do some damage to them, just because they shoot them so quickly that they knock them back, and it takes the golems a little while to get to the what the hell is it called, the iron golem, that one. I can't believe I'm failing. Can only do a couple things at once, apparently. My brain is only capable of that. So yeah, so you're gonna want at least 2, maybe 3 iron golems in the killing chamber of this, just to make sure whatever survives the fall, Endermen, chicken jockeys, spiders that cling to the wall, mobs with feather falling, you want to make sure that they end up dying, because the faster you kill them, the faster a spot becomes available on the mob cap, and the more spawns you're going to get. So anyways, we're going to want to repeat this till we have 3 floors. We're about halfway done with the second floor, so I'm going to go ahead and repeat this 1.5 more times up until we get to and build a roof on it, and I'll be back in just a second. Oh, and keep in mind, you only want 12 out of 13. I just failed a second ago and put these 2 blocks in right here. You do want 1 air gap between one of the pistons and the slabs, so just remember that while you're building this. Alright guys, we have our walls up and everything. I wanted to come back here instead of after I finished the roof just to point out another of the optimizations for Enderman to promote the spawnings. You can do the roof either out of solid blocks if you want to have no Enderman spawn on this floor, or you can do half slabs, which will promote Enderman spawning. So we're going to go ahead and just do half slabs this time, just because every other time I've done solid blocks cut before I figured out the Enderman thing. So we're just going to promote the spawns of Enderman in here by using half slabs for the roof. And that way that 2.5 block gap should allow them to spawn in here. I didn't know that about Enderman. It's actually more annoying than anything else. It kind of screws up a little bit of the farm, but whatever. Not anything terrible. Just makes it a little bit more difficult to build if you're trying to go one way or the other. You either have to use more redstone blocks, or you're going to have to use more building blocks. Or you can do what I am doing and just don't care and have iron golems kill them. So, anyone that floats your boat, really. This, the way that I'm doing it right now is probably the most resource efficient way of doing it, which is what I was actually kind of trying to make this design for, is to be a resource efficient farm. So yeah, so we're going to do a roof out of half slabs right there, and we're going to want to start ahead. We want to remove any spawnable area outside of the farm. Obviously, that's one of the things you do with the perimeter and everything like that when you're preparing for a mob farm. So you're going to also want to slab up the roof of the farm and everything, or flood it. So I'm going to slab the outside edges and flood the middle just to make things easier, because all you got to do is put down a source block of water and on 2 of the edges, so nothing too difficult. So let's grab our water, and just from right here we're gonna go boom and this way, and once that all updates, there we go. Alright, yeah, so we should have all source blocks. It's not necessary to be source blocks if anybody was actually wondering that, but it does help with a little bit of the lag because the water is not flowing. Oh good, I'm getting this bugged again. Okay, so let me get inside of here. So when I close this, it's going to be... that's interesting. That's a little lighting glitch with the half slabs. You can see on my F3 window that the light level is 0 though, which is what we want. In order to do that, you need to have all the walls enclosed, those 9 solid layers underneath the first row of pistons, and a line of solid blocks behind every piston, and you should get light level 0, which is exactly what we want. So that works out. This lighting glitch, it's, like I said, just a glitch. It still is light level 0 in here, so that's what we want. So let's head on out of here and get to the next part of this, which would be the redstone. So let's change the time. Alright, boom, perfect. Okay, so our redstone position, if you want to build the full version of the farm, like I said earlier, this is only the half version. The half version, again, is 10,000 drops per hour, while the full version is 16,000. And the reason why... Hold on a second. Alright, sorry about that, guys. Anyway, so the reason why the spawning, if you have a full-size farm instead of the half-size farm, why you don't get the double amount of spawns, is because the amount of spawning space that you use does have a diminishing return. And if you don't know what diminishing returns is, I suggest you get on Google and go look that up, and you'll kind of understand. But yeah, but we do need, in order to get the max efficiency out of this farm, you do need to build both. And you'll get a little bit of diminishing returns on the spawning area, but this right now is, I believe, 540 available spawning spots. Which I don't think is enough for a full-size mob farm. I think you need roughly oh, I forgot to turn it on peaceful. I do think you need roughly 1,000 spawning spots for a good mob farm. So That's why I built the double-sized one, but this was the actual original build right here. So yeah, you can go ahead and just build one first and build the second later, or if you're not looking for this powerful of one, you can just build the half farm, which is extremely resource efficient and all that good stuff either way, and you're still going to get a great amount of drops. So next what we're going to want to do is find ourselves the middle point on one of these two walls. It has to be the walls where these aren't poking out. If you plan on building the full size, you're going to want to do this on the opposite side of where you're going to build the second half of the farm. These two need to be right next to each other, bordering on a 13 long side. So they would share this 13 long wall, or I guess technically the 15 long, because of the corners. So we're going to go ahead, I'm going to do mine on this side, because if I plan on building the full thing, it's going to be on that far side. So what we're going to want to do is come over here, and on these green lines right here where the pistons are, you're going to want to find the middle, which should be right here, and that's just going to be a temporary block. On one side from that temporary block, you're going to want to build 3 out, and on the other side, you're going to want to build 2 out. So let's do that again. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Okay, and now from where those are, you're going to want to connect those up to the lines that go run behind the pistons. And this level. Alright, and now for this side. Whoops. Okay, so now what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to take, I need to get some redstone materials out, so give me just 1 second. Don't need that anymore. Need that. Need that. I don't want that. Dust. Yes. Yep. 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 And yep. We're going to need that, but keep that there for now. Alright, so what we're going to want to do is these are where the pistons are on these long ones, starting from the end. You're going to want where the white blocks are, you're going to want to run redstone all the way down up until the very last white block. And on the corner one, you're going to want to put a repeater facing into those redstones. And repeat that for both sides on every floor. I'm getting some weird update stuff. It might be because of this rain. Alright. And then on pretty much on all of the green right here, you're just going to want to run redstone. Except for these one repeaters on the corner. And almost done. Alright, very good. Now what we're going to want to do is we're going to need to take some sticky pistons. We're going to need a temporary block of some sort. I don't want to use prismarine because that's not my temporary block. Let's go back and let's just grab yellow wool. Alright, so diagonal from where this is right here, you're going to want to put a sticky... Oh, that was gone. Alright, so on top of that yellow wool, you're going to want to put a sticky piston, and you're also going to need a redstone block. And you can go ahead and break that white wool. I'm going to give it a second. We're going to go down by... Yeah, down by... Oh, crap. We're going to go down by 2... yeah. So there's going to be a 2-block gap in between those two pistons, and you're going to want to do that again. And again, another, well, why do I keep breaking those? Another 2-block gap between those pistons. Oh, that was right. And another redstone block. And you can go ahead, break out those wool. They're not important. And then next what we're going to need to do is we're going to need another permanent block, so we're going to take care of that white wool. Sure. So what we're going to need to do next is a temporary block there, and you're going to need a redstone torch on both sides of that block. We're going to want to go under it again, go down 2, break out that middle block, and put a redstone torch on that. And that's just to keep all these off for right now, but that's going to be permanent anyways. So off the backside redstone torch, you're going to want to put a block above it, and a redstone torch on top of that, and another block above that with a redstone torch coming off the side closer to the piston. And we're going to need another temporary and another permanent right there, and just put a redstone dust pointing into that piston. And we're going to want to build again up off that redstone torch, another redstone torch, up again, and another torch, and connect those, and put another redstone dust. And that's our little torch tower to power everything. And now coming back down here to where this torch on top of a redstone block is, we're going to want to build a 3x3 underneath it. This is one of the corners. You don't need the middle one, so just a 3x3 ring, and you're going to want to break out, not that one, you're going to want to break out one of the corners that's 1 block away from the redstone torch and block, and you're going to need a dropper, and put the dropper facing upwards in. You're going to want to put a hopper on top of that. You're going to want to put a comparator coming out of both sides of those. You can put a block there. Actually, you don't really need that block there. Don't really need this either. Sorry, I like efficiency. Next what we're going to need is we're going to need repeaters. And we're going to need a repeater on full delay coming off of this block, and a redstone dust, and another repeater on the 1 tick, or I guess 2 ticks delay, so just click it 1 time, and that should set up a nice little double pulse for whenever this goes off. So let's go ahead and put our yellow wool in there. And next what we're going to want to do is put a block underneath that, go down 2 more, break out the middle one, you don't need that anymore, bring that off diagonal 1 to the bottom. There is a block there, just being glitchy because we're in the snapshots. You're going to want to put a redstone torch on top of that, and you kind of just saw the double pulse right there because we put the item in the dropper. But yeah, so you're going to want a redstone torch on top of that block, and there needs to be a block between the dropper and that redstone torch. There needs to be a solid block there. Next what we're going to want to do is put a redstone dust coming off of that, and we're going to need to build a 2x6 platform for a hopper timer. And just connect, make a hopper timer out of this. I'm assuming everybody knows how to do this by now. Ethos hopper timer design. I could have used my own design, but it's way too freaking big. So just, it works, and it's silent. It doesn't use sticky pistons or anything like that, but as my own hopper timer design before I found out about Ethos, but it's kind of huge. So yeah, so we're gonna use Ethos design just because it's better. It's much better, I'm not gonna lie, it's all sorts of better. So anyways, inside of this timer, you're gonna want to stick 3 items, and everything else on this farm, I would not mess with the positions, the timing on the repeaters, anything like that. For this entire circuit, I would build this exactly as I have it, but if you're gonna change up anything, if you want to experiment with the efficiency of this farm, you can go ahead and, what did I do? You're going to want to go, like, this is the one thing I would say go ahead and play with to see if the timings will help or, you know, screw up the efficiency of this. I just kind of felt like 3 would be a good number. I don't know why, it just sounded good for me, like when I was listening to how fast all the pistons went off. So last but not least, what we're going to want to do is slab everything. So anything that is redstone, anything that's a surface that a mob could possibly spawn on, slab it up. Because we don't want those mobs spawning, do we? At least not outside of the trap. So I'm going to go ahead and slab here, here, here. Alright guys, when all is said and done, you should have a crap load of bats, and that's the farm. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, when all is said and done, this is the house size farm right here. But you should have something that looks a little bit like this. I did a little quick zoom around while I was still speeding up the video, making sure everything I have slab. But let's just go ahead and take a quick look at this, make sure you guys have everything in order. So, do a little quick spin around. And this is the one important thing, how you can test if this works without actually being, or you can see if this works without actually being in there, is if both of these, if every single one of those 3 sticky pistons with the redstone blocks fires off twice whenever the thing goes off, which it looks like it's doing, so it looks like the farm is working properly. And then the backside, just pretty simple, make sure everything is in place, in order, and slabbed up. And let's head back down here, turn the game off peaceful, and watch some mobs fall. Actually, this would be easier with night vision. Hey guys. Hey mobs. Oh man. And remember guys, this is just the half size farm. So you get all not quite double, but nearly double the efficiency for the full size. And that's because we, like I said, we hit diminishing returns a little bit with the size of the farm at 1,080 available spawning spots. But it's either that or the half-size farm, because the farm operates off of the 3-floor concept, and if you want to go ahead and do 2 floors and build it even wider to try to optimize the spawning spots, you're going to lose optimization in size and resources used. So I think for the resources used, the half-size farm is probably the way to go. If you're trying to maximize your items per hour, then the full-size farm is the best way to go. And if you're not trying to optimize anything, then go use someone else's farm. No, I'm just kidding. Oh my god, guys, they're just raining mobs. This is, I love it so much. So yeah. I hope you guys enjoy the tutorial. Like I said, if you want to build a full-size farm with this, like I said a couple times already, you have this entire flat side. You can literally just mirror the design right next to it, and you'll have a full-size farm. And that will get you 16,000 items per hour. So, anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. If you did, please leave a like, comment, subscribe even, and have a great one, guys.